Hey everybody, I want to be starting off this new series of Android tutorials with transferring data with intents from one activity to another. So let's go ahead and start a new project. Android application project. I am using Eclipse Juno, the most recent edition in August 2012. I don't know for future reference if you guys want to go to the exact one or not. So let's just start a new application name, something like data transfer. It doesn't really matter. DT or tutorial T doesn't really matter too much. I'm gonna use API 8 just because that's the most common right now. So when you're programming an app for a wide audience, you'd most likely be using the API 8. Like 98% of Androids use that and above. So. Okay, this is a familiar site for most of you unless you're brand new. The hello world dumb layout thing. Okay, so we're going to delete that. And I don't really want this relative's okay. So of course we need a button. Just put that right in the middle. And then I want to create a text field. Now I understand a lot of you people won't be using specifically something exactly like this because it's pretty simple, but it's easy to get the idea of, and you can use it for more advanced things like making games and whatnot later on. So I'm going to name this data transfer button but. I'm just going to say but for short, and then data et for data edit text. I want to name this button transfer. There we go. Okay. Very simple layout. I'm going to drag this down again. Just an edit text box and a button. That's all we need. So since there's going to be another activity, we need the layout. So go ahead and create another XML file. It should be down in the XML folder. Let's name it something like data layout. I mean, doesn't matter since there are only going to be two activities. You don't need to be too concise on naming. Vertical. For some reason the orientation always gets askew. Okay. Let's put a large text box in here and let's see if we can get it into the middle. Last time I didn't. There we go. Okay. So I want to put it in the middle of the center. There we go. Or not. It's fine. Whatever. So we have this class here, which is our basic activity. I'm going to go ahead and delete the create options menu. We don't need that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and create another activity for our second layout. This one's going to be called data act extends. Oops. Extends activity. So now that we have this activity that has not been imported, okay, there we go. We need to make sure we declare it in our manifest so we can open it later on. Otherwise, it will not be loaded up. Make sure you don't misspell anything. Make sure you have the dot in front of the name. Okay. Then you put in the void on create bundle saved instance bundle. I mean, it doesn't. I've never used this before in my life, so if you wanted to, you can just name it B. Sometimes I just name it Icicle. I've seen that when I first started programming. I don't know if that's a common thing or not. Saved instant bundle. And then we need to make sure we set our view to our other layout, data layout. There we go. Okay. So now let's do some work over here. We need to declare our button. I'm just going to name that B. Doesn't matter. Only have one button, so data transfer but. Make sure we import the button widget class. Then our edit text needs to be declared as well, so we can get the text out of it, which is what we're going to be transferring if you did not catch on to that. So now that we have them declared, we're going to go ahead and set the onClick listener to a new onClick listener. So we need to go ahead and declare that onClick listener. Add an implemented method. There we go. Okay, now that we're in our onClick, one thing we're going to have to do is make sure this is a final. Otherwise, we would not be able to get the data out of it from the onClick method. Okay, so string data will be equal to et get text dot toString, because the get text gets the editable, whatever you want to pronounce it as. Okay, so now that we have the data, we want to make sure it's not null, so let's go ahead and do a check. Data is not equal to null, and data it's not data equals, make sure it's not blank either. It doesn't matter too much. I mean, you can send a blank one if you wanted to. And then if it's then just send out a toast. Get application text. The data is empty. Make sure you do dot show. Okay. Because otherwise it won't show the toast, it'll just declare the toast. You want to declare it, then show it. Okay, so now that we have the data, we're going to go ahead and make an intent. Get application context. And then data act.class, because that's the class we're going to be going into. Now this is the important part. Most of you probably know how to open up activities and stuff. But to put data into our intent, we want to do declare our intent and do put extra. Now here's our name or our key, and our value will be data, but the key is very important. We want something that we will use consistently. So for this example, I'll just use data because I'm not sending any more data, but for example, if it's a game or something, you might want to be okay. So this is how many kills he has. You know, I want to put this key as kills. This is his name. I want to put the extra as his name. You know, name. You know, player kills. You know, something like that. You know, but in this case, I'm just gonna put data. And then we'll just start activity normally with I. So now that we've put the extra in and then we've started the activity, we're gonna have to get the intent. Luckily there is a method for that. It's just get intent. It's nice and simple, isn't it? Make sure we import it. And then bundle, data bundle will be equal to intent and then get extras. So what happens here is we're declaring a bundle and then we're getting all of the extra data that we inputted into it. So now we want to declare a string, maybe a data, you know, data string or something. It doesn't matter too much, whatever you want to name it. And then data bundle dot get string, and then the key we declared beforehand, which was data. So now what happened is we get the intent that started this activity. We get the bundles from it, or the extras from it, and put it into a bundle, and then we get the string from the data. And from the extras, from the bundle, from the intent. So now that we have the string, we want to make sure it's not null. Data string equals to null. Then let's just set it to something like data is null. Oh no. And then we need to go ahead and get our text view. I'm gonna call it TV for short. View by ID. I know that by heart now. I guess I never named it text view 1, I guess. Okay. So now that we have the text view, we want to go ahead and set the text to data string. Okay, so now that we finished everything, we want to go ahead and make sure that we declared our activity in our manifest, which we did, and make sure the layouts are okay. Okay, they are, so awesome. Make sure you have an emulator. I already have mine running because it takes so long to do. Just running a little low on time. Cool, so what I'm going to do is I want to transfer nothing right now, and then see if the data is empty. Oh darn, I guess I just had to go put something in it. Hey. Transfer, bam. Awesome, we transferred data successfully from one activity to another. Well, that's the end of our tutorials, guys and gals. Make sure to subscribe and whatnot, and I'll be adding more tutorials on Android later on, maybe a little bit more helpful ones that are a little bit more specific to certain circumstances. Until then, goodbye.